And now it's time for a Q&A from you, the viewers. And one thing we haven't talked about yet is the impending demise of iTunes. And Aaron Johnson has some concerns about that because he's worried about losing some key features that he's grown accustomed to in iTunes. And one of the big things that he's pointing to here is the very robust podcast directory that is in iTunes. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better podcast directory than that, because for most podcasters, that's where you start, and then you start sending your feed out to other services as well. And he's worried about losing that functionality. So the good news is that although iTunes is going away, and I think it's definitely time for it to go away, given its old code base and what might be lurking in that. That code base, by the way, goes way back 20 years as well. They're going to be splitting the iTunes application into distinct applications on the Mac, just like they do right now on your iPhone and iPads. You'll have a music app where all of your music will be stored. So if you have music in iTunes, after you upgrade OS X and iTunes goes away, all of that will show up in the music app, including your online purchases. You'll get a separate podcast app, a separate TV app for TV shows and movies, and of course the Books app, which is already in existence on the Mac, because that's where you get books from already. So they're going to basically simplify things and diversify out their applications to support each of the media types that you're looking at, and then they can retire this old code in the process. So you will be able to get those podcast feeds from the podcast app, and things will continue onward like that. So I don't think Aaron should have anything to worry about. But what was intriguing in doing research to see exactly what was going on with iTunes is that it appears as though iTunes will continue to exist in Windows the same way it does now, and there's no plans to retire the Windows version, at least insofar as I can see, immediately. So I think you'll probably get a few more years out of iTunes on Windows, and the code base for that might be a little bit more up-to-date versus the Mac version, given that they had to write it from scratch for Windows versus the Mac version that's just been carried over since the Mac OS 9 days, actually. So we'll have to see how long Apple holds out on the Windows side. They have been very interested in bringing their services to other platforms. We will be seeing, I think maybe we have already, a music app on Android to access your Apple content there. And then, of course, we're seeing the Apple TV app showing up on smart televisions and other devices too. So we might see something happen on the Windows side at some point. But for now, iTunes will continue to exist, and if you are using it and happy with it, I think you'll be able to continue using it for the foreseeable future.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold-level supporters, the Four Guys with Quarters podcast, Tom Albrecht, Brian Parker, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/s.